Hey snacks, it's Lala. Welcome to Snack Size. I am thrilled to be here sharing this wonderful space with you, and I'm ready to take you on an exciting journey towards finding your passion and following your dreams. So whether you're discovering new interests, setting bold goals, or just looking for a dash of inspiration, know that every moment is worth celebrating and every dream is within reach. So grab a snack and get comfortable because we're about to dive into another fabulous episode where we celebrate the beauty of being unapologetically you. Our time together starts now. Hey snacks, welcome back to Snack Size the podcast, and today I am so honored by the guests we have. They are a poet, writer, historian, activist, and former Minneapolis City Council president whose work has helped shape conversations around community, equity, leadership, and belonging. In 2017, she made history as the first Black openly transgender woman elected into public office in the United States, but her impact extends far beyond that milestone. For decades, our guest has been using the power of storytelling, art, and public service to advocate for marginalized communities, preserve important history, and create pathways for future generations. Through poetry, community organizing, or elected office, she has dedicated her life to helping others find their voice and their place in the world. So today, we're talking about her journey from growing up in Chicago to becoming a nationally recognized leader, as well as all the life lessons she's learned along the way. We'll be exploring authenticity, resilience, success, mentorship, and what it means to build a life rooted in purpose. So it is my honor today to welcome Andrea Jenkins. Hi, Andrea. Welcome to Snack Size.
Hey, Lala, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for being here with me today. It's such an honor.
Yeah, well, it's my pleasure.
Yes. Okay, so let's tell the people where we're at. You picked this place.
We are at Latunji's Palace.
Yes.
Located at 14th and Park Avenue. Some of the best peach cobbler in the city of Minneapolis.
Hey.
Amongst other treats and delights.
Hey.
Coffee is always fresh.
Yes.
And the service is top notch.
They're so friendly here. I'm so glad you picked this place. I had not heard of it, but I am already a fan. I'm going to get me some peach cobbler on the way home.
No.
So for listeners who may not know who you are, which would be hard to do if you live in the Twin Cities, but they may not, how would you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Andrea Jenkins, and I am a former Minneapolis City Council member, but I am a poet, a writer, an educator, performance artist, visual artist. I guess I would call myself a multidisciplinary artist.
Yes.
And advocating on behalf of particularly trans and gender nonconforming people, specifically Black trans women.
Yeah.
And, but I also am always on the front lines for disability rights, for women's rights, for immigrant rights, all marginalized communities to make sure that we are living in a equal and just society.
You've lived a lot of life just in all the things you just said that you've done. At this point, right now, what feels the most like you? Historian, poet, activist? What's going on for you right in this moment?
Wow. Yeah, you mentioned a historian. I am an oral historian, documenting trans and gender nonconforming people's lives.
Yeah.
But right now, I am in this space of writer.
Yeah.
And I've called myself a writer for a long time, and I've always written poetry, essay, grants, like whatever anybody will pay me for. In this season, I feel like a full-time writer.
Yeah.
And that has not been the case up until this point. Writing was like a side hustle kind of thing. And now it's who I am. It's my identity.
It's not often I get a writer on here. When did you start writing in general?
I grew up in Chicago in the 1960s, which is, sort of the civil rights era, the Black Power movement, Black is Beautiful, et cetera, et cetera. And when I was in first grade, I met the poet laureate of Illinois. Her name was Gwendolyn Brooks. Is Gwendolyn Brooks, but she has since passed away.
Yeah.
But I met her when I was in first grade, and, she came to our classroom, and she just said, like, all of you guys can be poets. All of you guys can write poetry. And that kind of stuck with me. I don't think I wrote my first poem until I was 14 years old.
Wow.
But that sort of stamp that she put on us really, really stuck with me. And even prior to me writing my first poem, I was always reading poetry, right?
Yeah.
Like I was reading Langston Hughes, From Mother to Son, and I've Known Rivers. And I love Langston Hughes because his poetry is sort of like straight to the point.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of flowery language that is difficult to decipher, if you will.
Yeah.
It's not abstract.
Yeah.
Most of his poems are pretty brief, which is very similar to Gwendolyn Brooks. So I had read a lot of poetry, and then when I was 14, I met Gwendolyn Brooks' protege. His name is Haki Madhubuti. He is the editor of a press called Third World Press.
Okay.
And they produce Black nationalism kind of books, and they produced a lot of the poetry of Black arts movement. And so when I met him, I really got inspired to start writing more. So I wrote a lot of really bad poetry in high school.
But you're allowed to, right? You're a kid.
Yeah, exactly. And then when I graduated from undergrad, I had to take one more class in humanities.
Mm-hmm.
And my last class as an undergraduate was a class in poetry. And I wrote a poem. We submitted it, and I won second place in this poetry contest.
Yes.
Ever since then, I've been writing and publishing and doing all that stuff. I'm currently working on a memoir that will include a lot of poetry. It's a memoir about my time serving in public office and the art that I was able to create while I was in office.
That's such an interesting angle.
Yeah.
Was it hard to balance both of those things?
In many ways, it was, but, a lot of the art was really inspired by the murder of George Floyd, the global pandemic that we were in. So, yes, it was challenging, but also, if you remember, we were all at home, right?
Yeah.
So, and I had this time to
to create.
To create.
Yeah.
And so, that's what this memoir is going to sort of hopefully encapsulate these 8 years that I was the first Black trans woman elected to public office in the United States.
When you say that, how does that feel?
Feels surreal to say. And, it's, and I have to put on there the first out Black trans woman, because there was a Black transgender woman who was elected to the Boston City Council, but she wasn't able to be out. She was in a closet, or stealth, as they call it, and then she was outed and then subsequently kicked out of office. I'm very proud of the fact that I earned the support of over 40,000 people 3 times. I was able to be the president of the city council, the vice president of the city council, and traveled all around the country speaking up on behalf of Black trans folks and Black trans women.
Who were the people that helped shape you along this journey?
People that shaped me? Well, I mentioned a couple of people.
Yes. I was thinking during your time in office, I'm sure being in that position and serving in that way, you had to have some mentors, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I definitely had some mentors, some support. I was a policy aide before I became a city council member.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked for 2 different city council members.
Oh, wow.
So they were very supportive in my time in office, and I would lean on them for support. I have a really good friend who lives in Washington, D.C. His name is Ben. He really helped out on the campaign, like sort of managing the campaign. But he was also my sounding board for whenever I would have issues. And, you know, during the time that I was in office, man, we had some pretty significant things happening in the city of Minneapolis, which reverberated all around the country, right?
Yeah.
You know, the murder of George Floyd brought up this whole conversation around defund the police. That started right here in Minneapolis on the Minneapolis City Council. And, you know, that became a whole thing all around the country, and I would probably all around the world. But, you know, my mom was very much supportive in my corner, clearly all of my life.
Actually, one of my questions was, what's a lesson from your mother that you carry with you today?
One of the lessons from my mom is love who loves you.
That's so important.
It really is. Because sometimes, you know, we chase people who we think we love, but they have no love for us.
I'm going through that right now.
And, you know, it's a hard place to be.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And I mean, my mom has taught me many, 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 many lessons, but that's one that really always sticks to me. And I think it's worked for me for the most part. I have followed that advice, but I'm like every other human being, you know, we want what we can't have, right?
And sometimes it takes a minute to realize who loves you, because the way we may perceive love is different than how it comes into your life, you know?
It's very true.
You got to be open to all of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yes. So, living openly, did you have challenges while you were in office making the choice to be open?
No. By the time I got elected, I had been out for like 20 plus years. Now, I will say though that, you know, getting elected, it thrust me into a whole new world, meeting politicians from all around the country, and met the president, the vice president, different city council members from all around the country. So in each of those encounters, it's kind of like, you got to kind of come out again, right?
Yeah.
And so, fortunately, my reputation preceded me, right?
Yeah. I can see that, yeah.
People were like, oh, Dad, I heard of you. You're the first Black, blah, blah, blah.
That can be a positive, though.
Yeah, so, right. It was not, you know, it's not like I had to come out to people, per se. I think still uncomfortable for a lot of Black folks.
It is. Queerness in general really is. Unfortunately, even today, when you're in community, you know, as someone who's identifying as Black, the queer thing can still feel uncomfortable, even in 2026.
No, it's true. You know, a couple of weeks ago, an organization called the Transgender Law Center had a conference here in Minneapolis.
Yeah.
And it was all Black and brown, trans, and GNC people. When I'm in Black spaces, I feel like I have to explain my queerness.
Yeah, exactly.
And when I'm in queer spaces, I find myself quite often, you have to really identify your Blackness. I mention that because at that conference that weekend, it was so beautiful. All Black, all trans. You did not have to leave any of yourself behind.
Yes.
You did not have to explain yourself to people. You did not have to feel uncomfortable in the room because somebody said something about Black people, and now you got to feel like you got to stand up and defend the whole rate. Like, none of that was present. It was just be your beautiful Black, trans, joyful self. And those faces don't come along too often, but when they do, it's pretty incredible.
What inspired you about the younger generation at that conference?
Oh man, everything. The beauty. I mean, these young trans folks are just so beautiful, but also the respect and the reverence that people were giving to me as an elder in the community, but also the reality, like so many of these young Black trans folks are starting organizations, creating housing opportunities for each other, creating foundations to give money to support each other. They are building the infrastructure for Black trans success in the future. And it's not just about PTN and going to the club and partying, although that's a real part of the...
That's a part of growing up to me.
Yeah, it's a part of all the things. They haven't abandoned the joy, but they have embraced the political reality of being Black and trans.
And I'm sure for someone who is an elder in the community to see that they have the access to build foundations at all.
Yeah.
It's probably so beautiful.
Yeah. And, the question was, what is inspiring, right?
Yeah.
It's inspiring to know that they took the little firms that, myself and other elders left behind, and they're building on it. It's so inspiring. Yeah.
It's beautiful. Speaking of younger people, do you have any advice for your younger self?
My advice to my younger self, I would have advised myself to come out earlier.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I came out when I was 30, so I was a fully grown adult. But even then, the world that we live in now was not
there. No.
Was not the world. It was pre the word transgender, right?
Yeah.
It was like tranny, drag queen.
Yeah, all those things. Even with drag specifically, I actually started performing the year before RuPaul's Drag Race aired. People look at me and they say more of an old school queen. That's because when I came up in my gay upbringing, I was watching old school queens. And when I started, there wasn't this new wave, which I love the new wave. I'm not saying anything about it. The people I aspire to be were from a different time. But even looking at the fact that, I remember watching YouTube videos of white queens doing their makeup, trying to figure out how that would work for me as a Black queen, and now there's all these tutorials and all these products that you can have. So the amount of times that things have changed just in the 10 years I've been doing it, is amazing. I can't imagine from your 30s to now.
Oh, yeah. It's night and day.
Yeah.
But I'm curious about, because, when I was coming up, most drag performers were lip syncing. But today, man, you got a lot of performers that are doing original music.
Yes.
They're singing.
Yeah.
There's a lot more dancing in their acts. I mean,
we're in other parts of media like podcasts now,
Doing right, exactly. I guess my question to you would be, what has changed?
I would say for me, it's the visibility. You get a TV show that's successful and all of a sudden people get to spot a light on what drag is. And I believe, I'm not transgender, so I don't want to speak too much, but I feel like the definitions between what being trans is, what a drag performer is, how they can be one and the same or how they can be different, really got clarified after Drag Race came out.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So,
even though it still seemed, in the beginning of Drag Race, it felt like it was
favoring cisgender performers. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there was like a sin to be trans. Like, people were scared to come out as trans.
It was wild to me. I started watching a lot of old school performers. Most of them were trans. My drag mother is trans. I never really understood that decision to wait so long to have other trans queens. Everyone has their gender identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, drag is not about that. for me, I'm interested in what kind of fantasy you're going to create. If you're able to give me some type of entertainment persona, that's good drag to me.
Right.
And the gender, whatever you may choose it to be for yourself, it doesn't matter as much to me as is it entertaining.
Yeah.
And I think that those clarifications have changed. So now that we got it clarified, drag in a positive way and a negative way has become a little bit more, mass produced and cookie cutter. So there's options, but I also feel like the access that kids have now is amazing. All right, let's get back to you. When you think about success over your whole life, what does success mean to you?
What is success? I think it is taking on adversity, because everybody in life faces adversity, no matter who you are. Success is meeting those challenges and getting back up, right?
Yeah.
We all get knocked down, but not everybody gets back up.
And that's always the battle, how you get back up.
Yeah. So that would be a big part of my definition of success.
How you get back up.
How you get back up, and how you are able to continue to integrate yourself into the issues of the day and to be a part of creating more access for more people.
Yes.
Like, that's success. Yes, I made it into the halls of city government. But the thing I'm most proud of is the 8 young Black women that I was able to bring into those spaces and give them an opportunity to make a living for themselves, to go back to school, to get promoted, to, raise a family, buy a home. That's success.
Yeah.
Being able to open the door for other people to walk through.
Absolutely. I love that you said that, though, because I don't know if you've ever seen this clip of Maya Angelou, and she said, every time you have a big opportunity, bring everyone with you.
Oh, I never saw it.
I'll have to send it to you. It's a beautiful clip. Every time my show gets bigger, I have the people that have been with me for the longest, and there's always space for new people too, but opening doors is such an important part. If people could learn one lesson from your life, what would you want it to be?
Live your life authentically. Be your authentic self. The more you accept yourself, the more other people will accept you. I would say that to trans identified people, to straight identified, don't let other people determine what your life is. You make that determination.
It's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
So we've talked about building community and preserving history and creating change. What's giving you the most hope right now in 2026?
Oh, that's a good question, because there is not a lot. Literally, the federal government, the top of the government, is trying to roll back history and, eliminate multiple groups of people, including trans people, including Black people.
Especially trans people right now, honestly.
Especially trans people.
Yeah.
And so it makes it really difficult to be hopeful. But what gives me hope is, I don't know if you can see on the wall over there, but there's a picture of Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
And, Harriet Tubman was hopeful in the most difficult time in African American history.
Yes.
And I think about her and her fortitude all the time. Right? If you get tired, keep going. If you get hungry, keep going. If you get cold, keep going. If you hear them dogs, keep going. Right? I know it sounds like a cliche. Stay hopeful.
So, what's next for you? What are you excited about?
I'm really trying to lean into writing and just making art my sort of full-time pursuit. So stay tuned. Books.
Yes.
Tours for readings. I want to write some plays.
You want to write some plays?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's exciting.
So that's kind of what's on the horizon for me.
Well, we look forward to it. Thank you so much for being here with me today.
Absolutely.
All right, Snacks. This has been another episode of Snack Size. And until next time, Be safe, be fabulous, love one another. Thank you again, Andrea.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Hey, Snacks! I hope you enjoyed this episode of Snacksize the podcast. And since I know you don't want to miss out on the party, you can head on over to www.snacksizepodcast.com to catch up on all of the episodes. This episode was brought to you by a grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board. Until next time, go out into the world and remember that you are fabulous.